Releasing new music can be both exciting and overwhelming. There's a lot to do and a lot you don't want to forget. So if you're on the cusp of dropping a new song, then keep watching, because today I'm sharing 3 things that you don't want to forget before releasing new music. So let's blast off and get started. JM in your universe. Konnichiwa friends, I'm Jonathan Miller and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, helping you become a better indie artist. I make electronic dance pop music and every Wednesday on this channel I'm helping others take their music to level 2. If that sounds good, consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell, maybe giving this video a like. If not, wow, we're really starting the summer off this way? It's not exactly the hot girl summer I was preparing for, but okay, I'll just be alone. Forever. Wait, how did my personal life get into this? You didn't hear that. Subscribe! Alright, so today I'm sharing 3 things that you gotta make sure that you do before releasing new music. It's 2021 and the music industry, both indie and major label, is a whole different ballgame. And I know there are so many things you have to remember and try to coordinate to get it all ready to launch. So we're just gonna jump right in with a few things that you don't wanna forget. Number 1, clearing your licensing. If you're releasing a remix or a mashup or a cover song, there are some legalities that you have to work out first. If you're going to put those songs up for sale or streaming like on iTunes or Spotify, if you're only sharing them via YouTube, you do have a little bit of coverage under fair use, but you should exercise caution because UMG, Universal Music Group, in particular, is very quick to hand out DMCA notices, which can force you to remove your content or pay a very big fine. Fair use, in case you're not familiar, is the US copyright law that basically says you can use small parts of other people's content under certain circumstances, like criticism, commentary, education, research, reports, anything that is transformative in nature. DMCA stands for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that again basically upholds the copyright owner's ownership of their material. And if you receive a DMCA copyright strike, it essentially gives you an ultimatum of either remove your content or, as I said before, pay a very, very expensive fine that if you're an artist, chances are you cannot afford. So if you are a remixer or a cover artist, you need to purchase a license before you release your song. For cover songs, obtaining a license isn't actually too difficult, nor is it that expensive. When covering a song, you're essentially using someone else's work, even though it's your rendition. But because of that, the owner of the original song must be paid for its use when you distribute your cover. Now, if you're selling this song, we'll get into streaming in a second because they are different. You'll have to play a little bit of a guessing game because more often than not, you'll be paying all of these fees for your license upfront before you release your song. Usually the types of licenses are split between a limited license, which means you only intend to sell less than 500 digital downloads. Or you can get a standard license, which means you intend to sell more than 500 digital downloads. Sometimes it's 1,000 digital downloads. Different places have different rates, but it should be less than $100 US on average for your license. Now, if you're only streaming your song on places like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, you're in a little bit of luck. Those services already pay out royalties to music publishers, so you won't need to purchase any additional license. However, music laws change a lot, especially as streaming continues to grow. So my advice would be for you to purchase one anyway, for not only in case your song does well and people want to buy it, but also just to cover your bases. My personal advice, it's better to be safe than sorry. Remixers. Your job is a little bit trickier. You'll need to obtain what's called a master license, which will cover you on all music platforms worldwide. Since you specifically are literally using parts of other people's copyrighted works, the owners of the original song can say who and who cannot use their music. Therefore, in most circumstances, you'll have to work out this agreement individually, directly with the copyright owners. This can be very expensive because the owners can set their own fees, and they can take all the time they want in reaching a decision. So you'll need to get your song done and start your request many months before you plan on distributing it, and have a backup in case they say no. Moral of the story, get all of your licenses confirmed and in a row before you release anything. Number 2, planning for errors. Going off of what I just said about how you may get a no, things don't always go according to plan when releasing new music. A lot of artists, myself included sometimes, get so excited about dropping their new song that when something goes haywire in their pre-launch or launch sequence, they freeze and they don't know what to do. Been there. It's completely understandable, but it's always good to have a backup plan. For example, How would you handle your video camera breaking in the middle of your music video set? Technology is helpful, but not always the most dependable. Glitches happen. Luckily, simply using your iPhone is perfectly fine because the camera is high quality and music videos get made with iPhones all the time. Now, what if you're getting your song mastered, but the mastering engineer is taking a little bit longer than expected because they're book solid or something, and you've already locked in your release date? Well, it would be smarter to pick a release date that still had a little bit of wiggle room and can be adjusted for when your master recording is finished. I personally would recommend getting your master recording first, but I know that sometimes scheduling doesn't always allow that. Or let's say you're dyeing your hair for a new photo shoot, but something went wrong and your hair did not turn out correctly. Adaptation and elevation is the name of this game. So if something happened to your look or your hair, see if maybe it can actually work somehow. What if you styled it in a little bit of a different way than you had imagined? None of your fans know you're doing this photo shoot, so they're not gonna know what it was originally supposed to be anyway. So maybe it'll look cooler. Try wigs. My point is there's always a way around a hiccup. So plan things with wiggle room and make a backup plan. That way, when you don't end up needing to use any of those backup plans because for some reason things actually went right, you'll still know what to do if something does go wrong in the future and you can adapt. Number 3, making a post-launch plan for both outcomes. The last thing I want to talk about today is the post-launch plan because it's something that a lot of artists overlook. People hone in and get so focused on their actual releasing of the song that they forget how to extend their song's promo life or their album or EP or whatever it is. It can feel like everything is riding on this moment, and that can cause us to either think, oh my God, it's gonna happen, I did it, I'm gonna get 1 million streams, everybody's gonna love it. Or it can make us think,
oh my God, what if my song flops? I spent all this money, all these people are helping me, I'm gonna do everything wrong, what if I fail?
The truth of the matter is you should honestly plan for both outcomes. Fact of the matter is, not every song makes an impact the moment it's released. Sometimes it takes a while or even years before people start paying attention to you. I try to encourage artists to focus on what happens if your song does go viral, but it's okay to have a backup plan for a re-release or trying again with the same song. If no one's listening right away, how are you going to inspire them to in the weeks that follow? If they do stream it right away, how are you going to keep your fans interested in the weeks that follow that outcome? There's a myth in this industry that if your song comes out and no one moves, it's a flop. That is a lie. It's 2021 and you can always try again. Yes, with the same song or same album. Take a look at how you launched it, figure out some areas of improvement, and then build upon it. I re-promoted my album The Space Between 5 years after I released it. Once I learned more about who I was as an artist at the time and how to properly promote music in general, and you know what? It did a lot better than when I first released it. In fact, a lot of those fans that I remarketed the album to are still following me to this day. Your music is an evergreen asset. It's not a one and done thing, not in the modern music industry. Whoever tells you otherwise obviously doesn't know how any of this works nowadays. So if it works and people are loving your song, ride that wave. If it doesn't, make that wave come back stronger. If you plan ahead and get all of your ducks in a row, your new music could be the best project that you've done so far. So those are some things that you want to remember before releasing new music. Question of the video: what's one mistake that you've made when releasing new music and how did that affect your next project? Leave me a comment below letting me know. If you want some help on when to release a music video, I've left a link in the description below so you can check that out. And if you like me and you like what I do, consider joining me on Patreon like Melanie here and all these fantastic people to get all sorts of fun rewards, including access to my YouTube calendar to see what's coming to the channel. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new. I put out new videos every single Wednesday. Once again, I'm Jonathan Miller and I will see you next time. See you later.
I am a machine, not a robot, never operation electronically. My messages are magnetic vibrations, once a pioneer.